In the early 1970s, rally racing operated on a simple premise. You take a mass-produced commuter car, bolt on a roll cage, aggressively tune the engine, and try to keep it alive through mud, gravel, and snow. Lancia had mastered this formula with the Fulvia. It was a championship-winning machine, but by the turn of the decade, it had hit a hard physical ceiling. Engineers had squeezed every possible drop of performance out of a chassis originally designed for runs to the grocery store. Team manager Cesare Fiorio recognized a structural problem. Adding more power to a standard road car was yielding rapidly diminishing returns. The homologation rules of the era required manufacturers to build 500 street-legal versions of a car before they were allowed to race it. Fiorio inverted that logic. He decided Lancia would design a purpose-built race weapon first, and only build the 500 consumer versions as an afterthought to satisfy the regulators. This decision pushed rally racing past its origins as a high-speed hobby for amateurs. It forced the entire discipline into a highly specialized engineering-first science. To build a vehicle completely divorced from traditional consumer sedans, Lancia partnered with the design house Bertone and their lead designer, Marcello Gandini. Their starting point was the 1970s Stratos Zero concept. It was incredibly low, wildly impractical, and looked more like a spaceship than an automobile. Gandini took that raw aesthetic and evolved it into the Stratos HF. Every single line on the new vehicle prioritized rally-specific geometry over passenger comfort. This top-down schematic compares a sedan's turning radius to the Stratos' short 2.16-meter wheelbase, allowing it to snap through hairpins faster. From the cockpit, the visor-like windshield expands peripheral vision, engineered so the driver can spot the apex while sliding completely sideways. The resulting wedge shape serves no aesthetic vanity. It functions strictly as an aerodynamic tool meant to carve through a dirt track. Fiorio knew this aggressive chassis needed a specific power plant, a mid-mounted 2.4-liter V6 engine, originally designed for the Ferrari Dino supercar. Securing it required heavy political maneuvering. Enzo Ferrari was fiercely protective, actively resisting supplying his engines to a brand he viewed as a competitor. Fiorio eventually won the negotiation, but the victory brought a massive engineering headache. The Ferrari V6 delivered raw, explosive power. Dropped into a chassis with such a short wheelbase, the Stratos became notoriously vicious. It was incredibly difficult to keep in a straight line, and the torque regularly snapped the gearboxes. To fix this, Lancia brought in Mauro Ambrogi at University Motors. His singular assignment was to tame the car's aggressive power delivery. This line graph shows the engine's original, aggressive power curve. Ambrogi installed a custom 6-in-1 exhaust and rigorously tested the mechanical fuel injection. Through these adjustments, that spiky, unpredictable power delivery flattens out into a wide, progressive torque curve. Pairing a reluctant Ferrari engine with ingenious aftermarket tuning took a violent, unpredictable engine and turned it into a precision tool for the track. When legendary driver Sandro Nari finally took the wheel of the finalized Stratos, the payoff was immediate. Munari and the Stratos won the World Rally Championship 3 years in a row, taking the title in 1974, 1975, and 1976. These consecutive titles provided absolute proof of Fiorio's theory. A machine with purpose-built racing geometry will unconditionally defeat a heavily modified streetcar. Right at the peak of Lancia's absolute dominance on the dirt, their parent company, the Fiat Group, abruptly intervened. Fiat executives looked at the balance sheets and realized a harsh commercial truth. Winning races with a bespoke, mid-engine wedge did nothing to help sell their mass-market family sedans. They pulled Lancia's factory funding entirely, choosing instead to pour their resources into promoting the Fiat 131 Abarth, a boxy, mass-market vehicle. While privateer racing teams continued to win rallies with the Stratos, Lancia dealerships were stuck with the mandatory Stradale street versions. The cars were notoriously difficult to drive on regular roads, forcing dealers to sell them off at massive discounts just to clear their lots. Yet the Stratos design refused to die. Decades later, a highly exclusive new Stratos emerged, built onto a modern Ferrari chassis, proving the permanent cultural impact of Gandini's original lines. The Stratos proves that when engineers break the rules to build an uncompromising machine, free from the constraints of everyday consumer practicality, the resulting vehicle will outlive the corporate agendas that try to kill it.